This sode would not be possible without the support of our listeners, patrons, and sponsors. If you'd like to learn more about supporting the 3-Bit Gamer Show, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/3BG. And a huge thanks goes out to our boss-level patrons, Jeff, Christopher, and Patrick.
Can you see me now?
Yeah?
Can you see me now?
Yes, JD, we can see you.
Can you see me now?
What is going on?
I think he's doing some bit.
Can you see me now?
Oh my, I get it now. He's doing that T-Mobile bit because we're live streaming right now.
Wait, we're live? We're streaming right now?
Yeah, you might want to put on some pants, bro.
Can you see me now? You've just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And Aaron.
And we're here live. Guys, if you were so keen and on this lovely Friday night, you had nothing else going on, and noticed that we were live streaming, welcome. But I know none of you did because I'm live streaming and I see that there's no one watching. So,
oh, we just got one. Oh, wait, no, that's me. Never mind.
No, that's me too. Yeah. We can chat amongst ourselves on the live stream.
Dude, meta, we're talking here and chatting on the live stream. Different conversation.
So, but hopefully we'll put that up. All right, let's move on. Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right, guys, our news this week is brought to us, as with all weeks, by Crave Cookies. Dude, it's broken. Why does it never work? Didn't it work earlier?
I heard it earlier.
It worked earlier. Crave! I have to reload the board to get it. But it worked, guys. Crave Cookie.
I'm leaving that.
Awesome.
This is so hard. I'm running I forgot how hard it was to keep
JD's
my eyes on the board all
having
the time.
no pants on.
I had no pants, and I could just mess up, and Peterson would just fix it all in post. And now Peterson looks me dead in the eyes. He says, "I'm not doing post anymore." So I got to do it right the first time. I'm really sorry.
Make him work for it.
Guys, Crave Cookies is this awesome cookie shop down here in Midvale, Utah, and because Trent is back in Bear Lake, just can't stay away.
He loves Bear Lake so much.
I think he got a Bear Lake tattoo the last time he went from a authentic Bear Lake tattoo artist.
What does it look like?
It's a bear.
It's a lake that's shaped as a bear.
As a bear? Oh.
Yeah,
very uninventive.
And then there's a bear
hands.
in a canoe on the lake too.
It's way over the top.
That's ridiculous.
It's tacky.
Also, I think he probably got roped into a couple timeshares at Bear Lake. That's what it
Every
feels
time
like.
he goes, he gets a new timeshare.
He's like, no, just go to the thing. You don't need to sign up for anything.
They give you free cookies at
And
the
then
end.
he ends up signing up for stuff.
Ah, shoot. Yeah, so Trent isn't here to give us the sneak peek of the week, so it's the same cookies, but I've actually had the Bueno now, and I can attest. So you guys are going after.
Yes.
Get two. They are so, when you hit one of these pockets of the Kinder Buenos, and it literally, I cut into the cookie, because I cut it into segments. I don't eat it straight. I wonder if anyone just grips these cookies and eats them like a traditional cookie. I would love to see that person.
Wait, how do you hold a traditional cookie?
Like
I guess you have to
fingers
hold
on
it like this. I'm picturing a
He's
crazy
like
cookie.
Crave
He's
cookies.
holding it like a
But
burrito.
this is how you'd hold an Oreo. And then this is how you'd hold a burrito, and then this is how you'd hold a Crave cookie. If you guys are watching us live stream, you know what all of these different things are. Yeah, so we cut into this cookie, and it just starts spilling out. And I looked at Jen, and I said, "Look how ridiculous that is," and she just shook her head. And then she took her banana cream pie cookie and just went to the couch to eat it by herself. So yeah, and the PB explosion's always so good. So go check out Crave Cookies, or just go to cravecookies.com and salivate. Okay, so the news this week is actually pretty dope. And to start us off, we've got this new thing we're going to try. Aaron is a fan. We're going to stick with that.
It's like some game show.
I know, right?
No, if you play that sound, you have to go straight into it.
Okay,
So
let me
start
try
over.
again. Okay. World of Warships aggressive monetization has incited a max exodus of content creators. Guys, Russia. That's good, right?
Good.
We
Yeah.
should do that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Dude, we're sounding
if you
like
guys hate
professional
that, jump on our live stream and tell us about how much you hate.
You guys still aren't on the live stream, so I just checked again.
I just checked. Peterson just gymmed at the camera. You guys, World of Warships. If you are familiar with this game, it is like a battleship simulator game.
Go ahead and do your little brags about it. Go ahead.
I'm not going to do them. I'm not going to do them.
Oh, back in the day, I used to write for them, and they used to fly me out to Belarus or whatever. And
I can't win. If I say it, I'm going to get shit. If I don't say it, I'm going to get shit.
I'm going to do it for you.
Peterson will do it for me. These are the guys behind World of Tanks, and they have World of Warships now. And apparently they just pushed too hard on monetizing it.
It was already pretty bad.
Yeah.
How did they get
Both of
worse?
those games are
They're,
really
they're
bad.
like pay to win, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't play them as
100%.
much as you guys.
1,000%
But like
they are.
you could just buy a better tank and then just destroy
so
people
like
with
you
it.
get to some point and like unlocking tanks, and then
You hit a
you
brick
get free
wall.
currency when you play, but
Right.
then you would have to play. I think Spencer and I calculated it one time, and it was like 200 hours or something to unlock the next tank.
But the game is free to play, correct?
Yes.
So I think that's where their argument is. They're like, it's free to play, like whatever. Like, and people are okay with that. The mechanic you described has been the core mechanic of the game all along.
Yeah.
But now they're getting into loot box territory. They're getting into the gambling stuff. They're just pushed a little too hard. They apparently, this is all about the USS Missouri, which is the U.S. battleship on which the peace treaty with the Japanese after World War II was signed in 1945. So it's kind of cool. It's like ceremonial. It's not a great battleship.
Wasn't
apparently.
that on that movie with was it Samuel Jackson? I don't know. There's like aliens. Was in the U.S.
I don't know.
Oh shit!
It was
What
a
is this
Battleship.
movie?
It's called Battleship.
Oh,
Wasn't Missouri on that?
I don't know. I didn't see the movie.
I don't know. They're
Wasn't-
fighting aliens with
Wasn't like
the
Rihanna
battleship.
in that movie? Or
Yeah, Rihanna. Yeah.
So you know it was a good one.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
great.
this is a little different than the Samuel Jackson USS Missouri.
He probably wasn't.
But
in that
apparently it
movie. I
sucks.
don't
Like
know.
apparently the ship isn't that good, but people just like it and
In
they
real
know
life?
people want
Oh.
it. Yeah, I guess. Well, in real life and then in the game because it's not compared to these other ships that impressive. But they have hidden it because it gave an XP bonus when you were using it. So people were like, "Oh, this is great! I can like level up really fast." And so they gated it behind like a loot box, and so you have to roll randomly to get this. And this is the first ship. This is the first like thing in the whole game that came out where it was like people
That's
wanted
the
it,
only way to get it.
and that's the only way to get it. And they were like,
That's
"Oh, it's
messed
just
up.
an oversight." But it led to this mass exodus. For a mass exodus, I think it was like 23 of influencers in the
23
games community.
people?
Yeah, 23. Well, these are like the people, the big names that are like
and
playing,
Twitch.
streaming, and they're on Twitch and they're on the Discord and stuff. And they just were like, we're done playing your shitty game. And they, left some. And then the studio responds and they're like, yeah, we're sorry, not sorry. We're not going to change it.
Wow,
They're like, we're going to miss you
double
guys.
down.
Bye.
stuck with it.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be bullied.
That's a pretty big deal because those influencers have a ton of influence, right?
Right.
Like it's a pretty big deal.
yeah.
No, and that's like every one of those takes 1,000 with them.
Yep.
Or it's just people that are just watching them stream, and then they say, "Hey, I bought this ship. It's really cool." Or I earned the ship, or they gave me this ship, because that's what these influencers typically
Yeah.
get is like
Yep.
free. And then people want that because the influencer's using it, and they go get it. I'm sure that's a lot of the driving force on the USS Missouri. It's like how
Yeah.
many people knew the historical significance? Well, I guess probably anyone playing this game.
Yeah, the people playing this
Super
game know it.
dorks.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
super dorks.
Super
I love
nerds,
I
yeah.
love the people that love these games because they are super dorky. They're like, I looked it up, and I didn't have to look it up. I just knew it off the top of my hand. And you actually put 2 extra rivets on the port
Like,
side
okay,
of
okay,
the
but
USS Lincoln.
In
And
this image of that Lincoln, it looks like they're there, but when you go and look at this image,
then I looked up the original engineering mocks, and it looks like there's 2 extras. So what are you doing to address this problem?
What are you doing?
And Wargaming comes out, they're like, oh, we are so sorry about the rivet thing. It's being addressed in the next patch.
Somebody's been
That's something they give a
fired.
shit about.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, they fire someone, but yeah, so that is
Poor Riva guy.
poor Wargaming. Amazon has dropped their company policy on game development after backlash regarding their policies on game development outside of when their game devs are moonlighting. This is like their old policies, which Peter said, I put this on because I wanted I wanted your take on this, and I knew you'd have from the business side of the thing. But basically, if you are an Amazon developer working at the Amazon game studios, and you want to make something in your free time, well, you have to use their products. You have to use Amazon products. You have to use AWS. You have to sell your game on their digital stores. And it also gives the company a, quote, royalty-free, worldwide, fully paid-up, perpetual transferable license to intellectual property rights of any games developed by its employees.
I don't even know how you swing that kind of deal.
Because people are just desperate to sign, but that's nuts. Like,
I know, but
you own me outside of work?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how you even draft that up, and lawyers are like, this is legit. This is a thing.
How can that be legally binding?
I don't understand that at all. I could understand if you were a high-up executive in the company and you are on the clock.
Or like a principal engineer, and it's like anything you make is obviously...
And you have to use our product to
Right.
make it, because that's going to look really bad if you're not, right? But if you're just some kid that's, a entry-level software engineer who just got their first job at Amazon, and you have this game idea you want to work on, and now you've got a couple buddies that you work with, and you're like, hey, let's get whatever,
Give me all of your money.
Not using their equipment or software, not on their time.
No, you're just like
Moonlighting,
at
like,
home,
yeah.
doing this side project.
You would not be able to do that.
No. Well, Amazon would own a piece of it, right?
No, all of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's like development slavery right there.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
That's what I'm saying. You own me outside of work?
I don't get it.
How did you swing
I don't
that?
understand how that.
But yeah, so they were called out on this, and they obviously were like, "Oh yeah, no, sorry,
we didn't know.
that was an oversight." That's basically how
Yeah.
they said
Just
was
money grubbing.
yeah.
because they need it. They need money. Because Amazon struggles.
Yeah, they said these policies were originally put in place over a decade ago when we had a lot less information and experience than we do today, and as a result, the policies were written quite broadly. That's an understatement. Quite broadly.
And what I didn't see or what I didn't notice is I'd be interested to see if in the last several years they have acted on this clause, right? So they're taking people's stuff and then they're like, oh, we didn't realize.
We were just doing it as a matter of course.
Yeah, but then they did because they were actually claiming
that's bullshit,
property. Dude. So gnarly. There's somebody who got fired for that, for not using their product. And
Oh yeah, I'm sure that was the consequence. When you're like,
they got fired, and now they're sitting back reading this and like,
what the hell?
What the? You got to be kidding me. They talk to their lawyer, and their lawyer's like, dude, you got nothing.
Which is, it's so weird to me because I feel like so many of these spin-off indie games that we've seen over the years that have come out of someone that was working at a big studio that spun it off to work at a smaller one. Do you think they just like had that idea? They can't even, according to Amazon's old policy, can't even have that idea in their head. Like, you can't start writing stuff down if you're not writing it down on AWS-owned note servers. Like, what are you doing?
They own the notepad.
They own your fucking brain.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything. No, that's how these games come out, is
So
that
crazy.
people are working at another studio and they're like, I think this would be kind of cool to take this idea. And they go home and they build something and see how it tweaks and how it looks. And then they're like, yeah, I think I could do this. And then eventually you see them on Twitter like, oh, I decided to go indie with this idea. I wanted to go for it on my own. Amazon is like, it's so preemptive on that.
You gotta hide everything, man.
You gotta hide your own brain from them, and they're drilling in there. They're coming for it. They're coming through your
Zuckerberg's
brain.
going to get it first.
It's gonna come through your eyes, and Bezos is going through your skull.
Yeah. No, they're getting in there.
Tinfoil up, folks. That's what we're saying on the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Tinfoil up. The GTA trilogy is being remastered. It's going to be remastered, and it's coming to the Switch. I guess, according to Kotaku, who talked to some sources in Rockstar, and even they were hedging their bets a bit, but it seems pretty sure that we are going to get a remastered GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas.
Mm-hmm. Oh, snap.
And these games will be released later this fall for a bunch of consoles, including the Switch.
I think that's interesting.
Already? Wow.
Yeah, like that's cool. It's funny to me.
Smart.
Oh yeah,
because you were just talking about how good the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect was because it released in this like window, this huge gap where everyone's delaying their big games. This is huge.
Yeah,
that's hundreds of hours of content.
Yep.
Because I put hundreds of hours into San Andreas alone, and so like they release all these and they're remastered. So they're using the Unreal Engine and a, quote, mix of new and old graphics. One source that Kotaku spoke to with Rockstar claimed to have seen a snippet of the games in action, said the visuals reminded them of a heavily modded version of a classic GTA title. The UI for the games are being updated, but it'll look very familiar. It'll just look a little tweaked.
It's smart.
It'll probably look like PS3 graphics, like 360 graphics.
I'm cool with that. Yeah,
and that's good. No, I mean that's great to me.
I think this is a real smart decision. Like you said, timing of it is fantastic.
Hope they can get all the songs on the radio. All those licenses are going to be a pain in the ass.
I wonder if they still have the old ones or if they've updated even that to get new ones.
It doesn't matter if you're on PC because you can obviously just go change those in the game files. Mm-hmm. But for everyone else, that might suck because that's iconic. So like the radio station. Yeah, this is set up to make a ton of money.
They're going to make a ton of money.
Outriders developer says they haven't earned any profits yet. Outriders, I like that.
Yeah.
Peterson, you got this one?
Yes, Outriders released. When did it release? 6 months ago, maybe 9 months ago, I think. Outriders, if you're unfamiliar, this game came out with a lot of buzz. It's a looter shooter, essentially, where you are grinding levels to get loot so you can grind better levels, right?
Yeah.
So this game came out at their peak, 3.5 million unique players, right? So doing very well.
Yeah.
They came out doing very well. But the company People Can Fly, I think, is the company
in Poland,
that made it.
And they worked on Bulletstorm as well with Epic Games back in the day.
So Square Enix owns the IP. They were the publisher.
Okay.
And so the developer has not seen a cent from this game yet.
The guys that made it.
Haven't
been paid a penny. And this came out when?
This came out, let's see, at the beginning of the year.
Oh, my God.
And so they haven't seen any money yet because the deal they have, which is pretty common.
Written by Amazon lawyers. Apparently, you make the game for us. You get $0, and you thank us later.
Interestingly enough, Amazon now owns this game. I don't think you realize that
they just bought it, just like that.
So they wouldn't see any money until the publisher is claiming profits on it, and the publisher they pay for distribution. They do all, but it's also advertising.
Okay,
and so according to the publisher, they haven't made a cent off of it yet, and so the developer has not made a cent off of it.
That's insane.
So
they have 3.5 million users, and they haven't made a dime?
And it was on Game Pass. So you think...
And Microsoft didn't give them any money for that.
Yeah, you think
way.
Microsoft gave them a bunch of cash.
No way.
This would be my nightmare as a company. They were fully expecting to have gotten money by now.
How awkward.
And they've got nothing.
That you just have to go to the media and be like, hey, so
we haven't made any money yet.
What the hell?
And
Can you just do this?
That's just crazy because that game had so much buzz.
Yeah.
So much buzz.
So much. And tons of people bought it.
I knew tons of people that were playing it.
Yeah.
And so, man, so it launched on April 1st. So it's been what?
It died pretty quickly, though.
It came in and went out. So it's been, 4 months? And they've seen no profits, and you're not going to see a resurgence until they get more until they get like some DLC or something big, a big expansion, which they're expecting to do. But how disconcerting,
if they don't have any money,
man.
Like, yeah.
Right now, it's a sunk cost for them.
Right.
Which is, for a game like this, that's a big
Square
sunk
Enix would have
cost.
to fork over some money for more development time.
Dude. So this is so sad. This is one of the sad parts of AAA development.
It's all sad. What's good about it? None of it seems good. Even the games you release are just like buggy, shitty, and delayed. What is good that's coming out of AAA in the last, I don't know, 5 years?
It makes me sad, too, that they probably spent millions of dollars on advertising, which we've talked about so many times.
That's why they haven't turned
a profit. You don't need to spend millions of dollars on advertising.
Spend $0 and just see what happens. Dude, just A/B test.
You could just pay your advertising guy to just be like, oh, yeah, just get this out there a couple times. I mean, honestly, you could probably cut their advertising budget into a 10th and be just as effective.
You just give it free to a bunch of Twitch players.
That's it.
Some type of incentive.
Yep.
YouTubers, any kind of influencers.
No, you pay a marketing. You guys missed the middleman. You pay a marketing agency millions of dollars to do what you just said.
Oh man, I'm in the wrong
even though
business.
it costs a couple $100, but they are going to charge you millions to do it because they have a building to fill with people. They've got you got to pay for all that stuff, all that overhead. Yep, and 18 laptops. Everyone's got to have the new MacBooks. Dude. Like, yeah, it's expensive to do what you just described. If you need 25 people to do it.
Yeah, because they're not doing print like media anymore. So
they're not sending mailers out.
If they are, they need to fire somebody.
They don't have like some guy like putting a billboard up with the sticky thing.
He's got a marquee.
Yeah, he's got a marquee.
Like, right next to a digital ad.
He's like, shoot, there's no more Ys. How are we going to tell him to buy this game?
Use an upside down I or something. I don't know.
Okay, I'll just make it work with an
X. 4. Flip
the X will be fine. It's fine. I just used an X. Well, it just doesn't work. Among Us developers are not too happy about Fortnite's new imposter mode.
So Fortnite has a imposter mode, which is what they call it, and it is essentially Among Us. Mm-hmm. And why this story killed me so much is they're like, hey, you guys copied us. And
you impost us.
But you're not realizing, though, Fortnite is... Let's not forget, Fortnite is a copy of another game.
Every single thing in Fortnite has been ripped off of something else.
Yeah, so like...
Absolutely every part of it.
All they had was the engine, and if you remember, Save the World was a completely different game. It was a
Fortnite ripped off Fortnite.
Defense.
To start, they ripped off themselves.
And then PUBG came out, and they were like, hey, they're getting successful. And let's make that game. So they made that. And do you remember when Donald Mustard was in here, they couldn't talk about it because there was like a lawsuit going on between PUBG.
Because PUBG was like, whoa, what the hell? You can't do that?
Yeah.
And Fortnite just looks around the room. They're like, we can do whatever
They're like, why not? Do you own Battle Royale?
Whatever I want. I can do whatever I want.
And
that's so ridiculous. So you would have to like ban everybody who did a racing game. It's so ridiculous.
The best part, too, is so they're Among Us developers are like, hey, you ripped us off. You should have collabed with us, which is what they said.
Yeah.
But that's pointless. Among Us is a ripoff of
another one.
Werewolf.
Mm-hmm. It's all these board games, yeah.
Dude, yeah, this is not
like
new
a million board
concept.
games out there.
It's all
trader
ripoffs,
mechanic.
and they're like,
oh no!
Hey, don't.
I 100% agree with everything you're saying, but I will say one thing that made me be like, "What the fuck?" They use the exact same map. Fortnite, holistically, the same rooms have the same names.
Yep.
It's like you could have done, and it's in a 3D space, right? And Among Us is top down. Like you could have done anything. You could have just
so awesome.
I know you could have just dropped a pile of Legos on the ground and built that. But instead they're like, no, take the Among Us map that is distinct.
It's almost like they knew the people at Among Us would be super pissed and like, let's do something a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like if they made the Fortnite map was the exact same cities and everything as PUBG, like the island to the north, the military island.
They were all called the same
and they were all
stuff.
called the same thing. That is literally the way they have ripped this off
trolling
is so
all these
extensive.
Yes, I agree.
It just like the debt. Like,
so
think of how much
funny.
money the people that did this were being paid to do this, and they're like, okay, we need to put this new mode in. We're gonna have all these new concepts, all this new mechanics and stuff, and then it comes down to the map guy, and he's like, here's my map, and nobody checks.
And they're like, yeah, that looks
against
good.
the mode they're actively ripping
No,
off
didn't
at
care
that moment.
because you can't trademark the map design.
Yeah,
The layout
and
of
if it's
the
gonna be called
map.
engine room, like you can't.
So are they arguing that this imposter style game is akin to like a MOBA? Where it's like you have to have the exact same map, style, and design, because there's like 18 rooms, folks. This isn't like a star, like an elegant star shape,
Yes.
and it's like a really well thought out map,
No.
or like a chessboard, or like a Go board or something. This is like just a bunch of rooms.
Yep.
It's like a random floor plan they've put together.
Dude, it's so funny.
Boggles my mind. So
Is this out now?
Yes.
Oh,
My
okay.
kids have been playing it. They want me to play it, and I refuse. What are the chances, though, that they actually say the words Among Us in the dialogue? I'm going to say it's like 80%. It's like they'll be
based
like,
on what Aaron's saying, that they're
"There's an
actively trolling.
imposter
Yeah,
among
95%.
us."
95%
they
they
look
say
at the
Among
camera
Us.
and wink, and you're
Yeah.
like, that hasn't happened
It
before.
seems like you guys are just being dicks at this point. Like, you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to say that.
We'll copy anybody.
Yeah, we'll do it with a smile on our face.
So do you build as well?
No.
There's no building. It's just
Oh, they just
Among
they just,
Us
They
3D.
just skin. They
Yeah.
put a Fortnite skin on Among Us.
I kind of want to play.
It's such a shithead move. So shitty. Guys, there's this new Cyberpunk patch out, and it will make sure you don't have sex with the wrong person.
Dude, this story.
This game just keeps getting worse.
Okay.
At least it wasn't like bestiality or something.
No,
Yeah.
it-
You're like, do you have sex with this person and this person, and one of them is a goat? And you're
You're like, did I just do
Damn
a
it.
car? I just had sex with a motorcycle.
damn it.
Yeah. So there's a so this is I haven't played Cyberpunk. I do own it.
Oh my god! Well,
I
it's only
haven't played
$10 now.
I have
Aaron was
not played it
saying.
yet. Cyberpunk, apparently there's this. You go to a brothel to get information from one of the sex workers.
Right.
And there's this scene where
You gotta go pump them for information.
There you go.
Thanks.
Where you're supposed to go pump someone for information. I was going to make more quips.
You withheld.
Filling a
We only
gap.
get one.
I don't know,
only
something.
get one. Filling. Damn it! Why did you say something?
And so stop thinking of innuendos now. So you're talking to these characters, and there's a male character and a female character in the room. You're talking to them. Well, you're supposed to sleep with the female character per the story to get some information to kind of move it along. I think it's a side quest.
Oh, you actually I thought it didn't matter who you slept with.
No,
You
you're
are supposed to sleep with
the female,
one.
Yeah.
And
And so when you're talking to them, but you can sleep. I mean, at any point,
I didn't know that. That makes this way worse.
at any point you can sleep with either of them. Like,
Right.
You just you want to go to the brothel.
And because it's
you can go
Cyberpunk,
to
there
the
are
brothel.
only 2 prostitutes in the entire game, a boy and a girl. I'm like, did you guys do any detail in any? Is there any depth whatsoever in your game? One of each.
So you've got these two, and the way the UI was set up, it looked like you were selecting Sky, who is the female, and you would select.
No.
the
I looked.
male.
I watched. Did you watch the video?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so this is actually what it looks like. Is there the UI that was supposed to be like over the screen when you're to respond to the dialogue?
Oh,
It just wasn't as long as the cutscene. So the cutscene kept going. That little helper screen went away, and so the characters were Angel and Sky.
Yes.
And Sky was the woman, and Angel was the dude. And I have to say, I literally know an Angel and a Sky, and the Sky is a dude, and Angel
Oh no,
is the woman. And so literally everyone was like, wait. Who's
who?
Yeah, because the character you're talking to, the madam at the brothel, introduces them. She's like, "This is so and so. This is so and so." Talks, and then she's like, "Who do you want to fuck?" And you're like, who's who again? There's no way to find out. You
that's
can't
a huge
look
issue.
around.
Yeah.
They don't have names over their heads, and you're like,
it does-
so you end up choosing Angel because that's, I guess, ostensibly seems slightly more feminine than Sky, but they're both very neutral.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
and then you end up having sex with someone that was the unexpected gender, and it's not advancing the plot like you wanted.
And you're like, what?
Yeah, the whole
What
fact
just
that it doesn't
happened?
advance the plot is like...
Imagine being like, I think that would be so funny as a personal experience that I'm like, yeah, I want to have sex with her, and the guy comes over, he's like, all right, let's do this. I'm like, was that? Is
what?
that the trick? Like, I just get the opposite of the one I pick.
Was this like a puzzle or something?
You're like, okay,
Hidden
let's
die
go have
roll.
sex. I guess.
I guess I'm having sex with this guy
In my head,
now.
my character wasn't bisexual. They are now, though. So
they just are.
They just became it.
They have to be because they just had sex with a guy. And
dude, that is, and then they had to go back and have sex with her anyway because they didn't get the right information.
Yeah, then your character's all tired, your stamina's low. You can only have so much sex.
You gotta,
No, is it just how does this stuff exist? But at least this bug is hilarious.
Yes,
but people, of course,
well, it's
are
not
mad.
even a bug. It's just like bad. I guess it is a bug.
well, and
Yeah.
this game's been out for a while. How is this the first time we're hearing
The
about this?
funny, yeah, I know, because I guess there was like, and did you see the meme on Reddit?
No.
Have you seen the meme of the woman that's like, she looks really confused and there's a million calculations like around her head.
Yeah.
So the meme was like the hardest decision in Cyberpunk, and it shows is a screenshot of the woman asking who you want to have sex with, and then it's that woman, and she's like, "Is Sky the girl?" Dude, so funny.
That's awesome.
I feel like if the game wasn't so shitty, you'd probably this would have been a blip or like a funny meme or
be
something.
like a funny thing that
but
happened.
we couldn't even enjoy this for what it was
Yeah.
because the game just
So good.
a bummer. There's a game they made for blind and sighted people that they can both play, and I am so obsessed with it. This is called The Veil: Shadow of the Crown. There's no graphics for this game. There's just some random colored dots on the screen, but you're not really looking at the screen because the idea is that you got a controller in your hand and it's audio only, and you're just moving towards sound, right? So if you can consider like if you could close your eyes in a game.
Put on some
and just put some headphones on, and based on where your character's moving, so where you need to swing your sword, where you're walking, where what surface you're walking on, those types of things are all, and the maps or whatever the game is set up. They're octagonal, so there's no corners, so you can't like get stuck in a corner.
Yeah.
It just seemed really cool that the game wasn't necessarily, because there's a lot of skepticism about this. There was just like, oh, it's just going to be a gimmick, or it's going to be kind of gimmicky, or it's like all about their blindness and that's the point or the story of the game, and it isn't. Like that's just how the game is played, but it's not like, oh, it's all about being blind and that's to teach people this or whatever. It's just a game that everyone can play whether or not they can see.
This sounds like, and it does sound cool. It sounds like a good thing that they've made. It sounds like if a bunch of sound designers at a studio were like, we don't need those graphics,
those
guys.
dorks.
Let's just give us one programmer to get all this stuff in. We'll make
sound
the game
only.
Sound only.
I wonder if they did make like sort of a physical wireframe so you could visualize it.
Yeah.
As the developers, because you would need to actually be able to map this out.
Or maybe their graphics guy quit.
Keep going.
Like,
they only
this.
had the
Just spin
wireframe,
it.
so they're like, cut that out.
We've
Just cut
got
out the whole
this,
game.
guys.
We'll figure it out from there. What's really neat about this, there are a few of these types of audio-only games available on PC, but as everyone knows, especially the last few years, PC is not a very accessible way to game. So this is coming out on console. It's out on Xbox right now, as you guys are listening to it. If you're on the live stream, which no one is.
Anyone?
You guys...
Oh, okay.
no, it's just the
thumbs
same.
up.
Somebody.
No, it's the same. Yeah,
Did you
so...
give the thumbs up? You got the like? Did you like your own video?
Hey, don't worry about it,
Oh, 2 thumbs up. Look at that. Look how many thumbs up we have.
dude.
Guy.
We're awesome.
We're kicking ass. Yeah, so this is out now on Xbox.
Pass?
I don't know if it's on Game Pass, but I mean, I'm going to check it out. I think making games accessible to people because even if you're not like completely blind,
Well, it's just a unique idea.
Yeah.
It sounds cool.
Okay, if you play this, though, are you going to feel like Luke Skywalker when he's got the blast shield down? Like, you just, I pictured, close your eyes.
Yeah, kind of. I feel like I'd get way into it.
Yeah, like
I really want to try this.
You're going
just
to feel
as
like a freaking Jedi.
Because, like, think of this as an experience. Like, if you master that and then I don't know. I just think if you could make this game and then layer an actual game, like four-sided people on top of it with that level of audio design, what kind of games you could make with that foundation. I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, so check that out. That's called The Veil, Shadow of the Crown, and it's available, I think, on just about anything. Is that too loud?
This is a hard-hitting story.
It comes extra hard to you, Aaron, so buckle up. Developer on Twitter the game developer has revealed the exploitative nature of most game contracts. This comes from a developer, an indie dev, who's a solo indie dev, he goes by Jake Friend. I don't know if that's his real name, but it's Jake Friend on Twitter.
One word, so I don't think that's his full name.
Jake Friend. That's a cute name.
Jake Friend.
I love that. Jake Friend. That's the cutest name ever. I just want to start adding friend at the end.
Where's Jake Enemy?
Where's Jake? Jake-a-me. So he detailed through this Twitter thread about a publisher that had approached him cold. Like, he was not out there looking for money. He's got enough money from his Kickstarter, and he doesn't need this. And they came to him with this contract, and he was like, holy shit. He didn't call them out, though I think he should have. And when he came back to them and was like, guys, this is ludicrous for these various, like, myriad reasons, they were just startled. So one of the biggest things here is that they are going to... The biggest part is the breach of contract. The breach of contract gives the publisher the full right to sell the game. This developer, Jake Friend, loses their revenue, 100% of their revenue. They make no money from this. And then Jake Friend pays them back all the money ever given to him, pays back all the development costs yet to come for them to finish the game without him. No limit on what the budget or cost is. So just as much money.
He's just on the hook.
He's on the hook forever. So he says, so here's me, a 30-year-old solo dev facing a consequence where if my game is taken away from me, I am also in debt. The debt would be anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 with no further option for me for further income. Likely any funds I've already received would be spent on the cost of living, and I don't have money forever. And he says this is also concerning. The breach is really easy to trigger. So I would never. So let's see. If the business has the choice of paying for a game and getting less than 50% plus of their money back, or not getting the game, he's like, well, obviously they're gonna invoke this contract. Let's see.
The crazy part is he's explaining how exploitative this is,
right?
And the guys who made him the offer genuinely did not understand.
They were like, huh?
They were like, how? We don't get how that's exploitative. And he's like, what?
That's insane.
They basically, he's not going to get 50-50. And he doesn't even get 50-50 until he sold 24,000 copies of his game. At that point, they've been taking 100% of the revenue. And it's also, he has to eat the sales tax across the world. All global sales tax he's eating.
Whoa.
And they are the ones that are reaping all the profits for that. Catch them underpaying you, there's no penalty clause for the publisher. And you're going to have to pay an auditor to go find out. And the only penalty is that they have to give you the back of your money owed, but there is no time frame for which they need to give you that back.
And Jake Friend's the asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
yeah, and he says, again, I don't think they meant harm or to exploit, but predatory behavior has been normalized in the industry. I guess it just doesn't stand out anymore.
Oh my! Jake Friend is not so friendly.
And then he says, this is my favorite one. He says, they responded by asserting the contract couldn't be exploitative because top lawyers in the industry wrote it and because other devs have signed it. The fact that they still easily sign devs on this is a poor reflection of the industry, not a vote in favor of the practice.
Yeah.
Is this Amazon?
It could have been anything, dude.
Top lawyers
in the
Amazon
industry. No, because
handed us.
Amazon can't get a game, even an indie game, out the door, Aaron. It could
True.
not.
Yeah, it's true.
It could not. Yeah, when he said they've signed other devs, I'm like, that can't be Amazon.
Amazon's not.
Amazon doesn't do that shit.
They don't even sign them. They just know.
So yeah, if you are an
It's
indie
ours.
dev, in-game dev, and someone comes to you waving a bag of imaginary cash and says, "Hey, sign up," don't read
Don't
the
sign
contract. That was his ultimate thing: was read the contract.
Oh man.
If it's your life and it's your art and your ownership,
Yeah, that'll ruin
read
your
the contract.
entire life.
Yeah, $500,000 in debt with no end on that.
Yeah.
Guys, Steam games we've talked about in Argentina are well, I guess Steam. We've talked about how Steam games are being sold or being bought by people who are switching their region to get them cheaper, and apparently Argentina is where they are cheapest.
That's the key demo. That's the location right
So
there.
all these game developers have been tweeting about how they're getting these crazy sales spikes out of Argentina.
Dude.
This is funny. This is developer Lauren Lemke. He said that one of their violently cute 2D sports game, Super Blood Hockey, but was also especially true for Over 9,000 Zombies. These game names are great. That they're all just like buying, like 90% of their sales are coming from Argentina. And so these are some stats that are hilarious. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is $60 here. It's a new game that just came out. Costs $37 in Argentina. Resident Evil Village costs $60 here, but costs $36 in Argentina. And then you look at an older game like 2016's Doom, which is $5 on Steam right now. No, that's $1 in Argentina.
Dude, save yourself some money.
So people are doing this to save themselves money, but also apparently, what do you know about Steam trading cards?
Absolutely not.
A little bit. I have a bunch.
Yeah, you get a bunch when you buy games or when you play games, or like they just are awarded randomly, and for whatever reason you can sell them. You can sell them for like
Yeah.
2-3 cents
Yeah.
here, couple bucks there, for whatever reason.
If you get a shiny one, I had a shiny one, sold it for $2.
Yeah, and then that just goes into your Steam wallet, and
who
you can
buys this?
Exactly. I
People.
don't fucking know. I don't understand who buys these.
People who really spend a lot of time upgrading their Steam, because
Yeah,
all you get for trading them in is like
Coins?
No, you get like you can customize your
Yeah.
Steam profile
Space bucks?
and
space bucks.
Yeah, it's
Credits.
space creds.
Galactic credits. No, it's you get like backgrounds for your Steam profile.
Have you seen my Steam profile? My little
I have
icon?
not.
So it's
Because
it's a
who looks at
dude,
people's Steam profiles?
Who
and
cares?
and it has like a little border that like
Is it
shines.
yours like flame? Oh, I have like a flamey one,
Oh, you have,
which is cool.
so,
and
but
like,
that's what you use, right? That's
yeah,
what you
and
use
some of them
for?
are kind of rare, and so you can collect them and then unlock them. But apparently, people will buy these games
Yes.
in Argentina, get the cards, which that, and then they sell them, and they turn out to make like a tidy profit, like
Wow.
a couple $100 here. You have to spend like if you spend like $300 on Steam games, you can make like under $50.
Huh.
I don't
You just
get
got to
it.
buy those like super cheap anime games.
Yes.
Just buy a bunch
the
of.
booby games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you buy them in Argentina, and
And the prices are way cheaper.
you can buy twice as many.
So can you just use a VPN and say, "Hey, I'm in Argentina"?
I know
I
that Steam's
think- I
been
don't know how it
cracking down
works.
on this a lot because they don't want people doing this, obviously. Because if it was if it was too easy, then everyone would do
Everyone
it.
would just set up
But
for Argentina.
people are still doing it because people will always get around, unless you put extremely strict regulations on this. But the idea is that like they've limited the time window when you can do this. But say you have 2 Steam accounts, you can pull this every 60 days and then just go back and forth and then transfer funds from one and then just have one that just exists.
Well, and you
There you
can.
go.
They probably do the family share, right?
Yeah, there's so many ways around
Like
it.
I share Steam libraries with a couple different people, and so you could just make 2 accounts and buy one in Argentina, one in here, and then share games.
Yep.
Right.
So, yeah. Reckoning, guys.
Here we go.
Couple reckoning stories. We have to include these. The Singapore Labor Rights Agency is investigating Ubisoft. This is the Tripart Alliance for Fair and Progressive Employment Practices. Tight fucking name. Tripart Alliance. That's what we should have called this podcast.
Oh, the Tripart Alliance.
Tripart
Alliance. We're taking it. We took it, Singapore.
Damn it. They received a tip about issues at the Skull and Bones studio last month in the days after Kotaku
They
reported.
received a tip?
A tip?
What do you mean?
the
It's
story
everywhere.
that was published throughout international media?
Did we tip them off?
We tipped them off. They listened to us, the Tripart Alliance podcast.
Singapore is a big fan.
They were listening all along. So this is looking obviously into the toxic culture, sexual harassment, racial pay disparity at the studio. And according to this article, depending on the outcome of the investigation, TAFEP could require Ubisoft to adopt certain preventative policies at the studio. That's what happens, folks, when you build a game studio in the middle of a repressive regime. They can just tell you whatever the fuck they want you to do because you're embarrassing them internationally.
Well, and Singapore is, I'd say, it's
like China light.
Well, but it's businesses like to be in Singapore because Singapore is the nicest city I've ever been in, hands down.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is crazy. It's crazy.
It's like
nice.
Hong Kong without the tear gas.
And so a lot of really like nice businesses like to be there. They like to be in Singapore. But yes, it is a country that, like if you chew gum in Singapore, you'll get a fine or get thrown in jail, right? Not allowed to chew gum. So there's a lot of stuff like that. But this is also what happens, JD, when you send your scummiest French guy over to Singapore and he thinks he has just like a free pass to do whatever he wants. He harasses a bunch of people. Well,
that what jumps out to me is racial pay disparity. Like, I wonder if that was Chinese developers that were being paid less because there were all these white French dudes that were at the top of the studio.
Well, and that's what they said.
Singapore's not going to be stoked about that.
No, they said they kept bringing in like expats essentially
and paying them way better,
way more,
and then just treating all the Chinese labor, which is, by the way, that's like the incentive to have the studio here is that like the people that live in your country can work there, gain skills there, and contribute to your economy in that field.
And Singapore's not going to put up with this, so I feel
they're not
like
gonna be stoked about that.
This is going to be rough for Ubisoft. Singapore.
Best of luck. And then the other reckoning story, this is out of Bloomberg, that the Saudi public investment fund that's run by the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS, as you may have seen him called, is continuing to buy a larger stake in Activision Blizzard. So despite this controversy that's going on, the Saudis are like, I like this studio. I like
what
that
do they
you guys.
know?
Yeah.
What do you guys know? What is
you treat women like shit. I treat women like shit.
This sounds like the place for me.
This sounds like a great fit, dude. If I'm at Blizzard Activision, I'm watching the fucking Saudis increase their share of our company from 2% to 5 or 6%. I'm like, why? Ooh. Ooh, why do they like us so much?
Everyone in the U.S. is like, no,
Yuck.
get out of
Coca-Cola's
Activision
out,
Blizzard.
like Acura's out.
The Saudis
all these
are like, wait a second.
Saudis are like, yeah, this is
can
good
fill
for
this.
our brand, dude. And MBS is just some like nerdy, another one of these shitty nerdy rich kids. Except for instead of having a rich dad, he has like a rich country.
Yeah,
that he has like the entire thing at his disposal. Did you know that, guys? I think you're older than he is.
Oh, okay.
He was 85.
Not that old.
85. That's when he was born. He's like a little dumb baby nerd.
85. And
no,
JD, I'm old.
You're like,
I'm not.
You're like, haha. But really, that's fucking rude.
Yes, I was born before 85.
Yeah. So he's like a dumb baby. And when he's not like chopping up journalists and torturing like women's rights activists, he's like, I want to own the place that does that here in the U.S. Yeah. So good God, that's just too bad. And I'm not going to play the clip because this isn't news. It's JD's news report.
Just disgust on Peterson's
He
face.
wants this to be a segment, and it's not. I greenlight segments.
You
not
have so many options. Just clip out what you want on the board and send it to me.
It's all you screeching dee-dee-dee-dee in my ears.
That's not me, dude. That's the sound.
That's the beeping sound.
That's the beeping sound from my terminal.
From the sales report, obviously.
Guys, we talked about the UK charts, which we have access to their video game sales charts, I guess, for whatever reason. So it's kind of like a fun thing to track. On the top of the charts this last month, Mario Kart 8, understandable, just came out, kind of, right? That one's not new.
It's been out for a while.
No, that's the one that released with the Switch.
Okay, so Mario Kart 8, GTA 5, and Minecraft are on top of the UK charts. Maybe this isn't a good microcosm of like general video game sales. Maybe everyone in the UK is just fucked. Like, how are you guys still buying GTA 5? There's only like 20 million of you on that island. There's not that many people
who's buying it. Like, what do they?
How many times you buy that?
Yeah.
How many times can you buy Minecraft?
That's the thing.
Is this like a thing where people in the UK just don't get
like 3 times?
It's not like an arcade anymore where we have to put in quarters every single time you want to play the game. You don't have to pay $60 every time you guys want to play GTA 5. Guys. I don't know. Also, exactly. Biomutant, that game that had a kind of a rough launch, all things told, has reached the 1 million sale mark. So that's cool.
I guess. Well, after this next story, it's less cool to me. So
I know. I was actually thinking that Chivalry 2, Peterson and my latest obsession, has sold over 1 million units,
which is they were happy about. Like, congrats to them, but also I want them to sell 8 million units.
Yeah, I want to fill them servers
so much. Yeah. We're having a blast playing it.
So fun. And it's the thing is a game like this, you want to see more sales because it's a multiplayer game. So you want to make sure there's still like a pool of people to play with.
Yeah.
So it doesn't turn into Titanfall.
Yes. But hey, Biomutant came out like 2-3 months ago, so give them time.
I know, but I want Chivalry 2 to have so many more people. I want everybody to love it
go
as
buy
much as
Chiv 2. Go get it right now and
Why
play
haven't
with
you
us.
bought it?
You're making Peterson sad.
Aaron doesn't play it anymore.
You don't want him to be sad.
You don't invite me.
Every night, like
I was gonna say, yeah, because we started at like 11:30.
Oh, it's true.
No, last night we started at 11:30.
Yeah, we
and
did.
went to 1:30. So I don't know. And then the last thing here,
I'm
so happy, Valheim has reached the 8 million sale mark. Crazy. Where the hell is Hearth and Home? Give it to me now.
Yeah, they need to hire more people.
Gimme.
They don't have enough money.
No.
Their publisher still hasn't paid them.
The publisher is still just stuffing like
you
money
don't get a profit
in their
unless you hit
pockets.
10 million.
Unless you hit that 10 million. We really need to we need to recoup our costs.
And then
plus
it really starts trickling
100% more.
It's like, do you know how much that engine costs? It's at least 10 million people.
All right, Kudos is our positivity segment, and this week Peterson has a Kudos that I will just jump and piggyback on.
I started watching What If.
Oh, it's so sick. There's only the one, right?
There's
Captain
Carter. Yeah, there's another one.
What's the second one? What is it?
Captain Carter, and the next one is Star-Lord.
What if Star-Lord?
What if T'Challa was Star-Lord?
What?
That's bonkers, man.
What?
Dude, it's crazy, too. This one's way different. Way different. So, if you're unfamiliar, What If is a series of stories from the comic books where they were saying, like, ooh, what if something different had happened?
Yeah.
And whatever. And so, what they're doing is they're making it's an animated series of single episodes. So, episode 1 was, what if Agent Carter had become the super soldier instead of Steve Rogers.
Oh, so sick.
Peggy Carter, who is British, right? So it's not Captain America anymore. And so
she was so cool.
And so dope, dude. And here's the thing why I loved it. Have you watched it, Aaron?
I've watched half of an episode.
Here's what I loved about it so much, because they're taking the stories from the MCU. This is not like the comic book What If. They're just doing stuff. And that's fun.
But I think some of them are based on comic book what ifs, they are going out of the MCU.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The stories are coming out of the MCU. But what is so great about it is it's animated. So we're seeing Agent Carter being the super soldier, and the fighting is so cool.
The animation's amazing.
Dude, it's so cool. She's kicking so much butt.
Because the way
way more butt than Steve Rogers did.
Because the way I look at it is she's like the Black Widow of her day because she was a super spy.
Yeah.
And imagine if you gave the Black Widow the super soldier serum, what she'd
be all crazy.
Right? You give it to her and she's crazy. And that's exactly what Agent Carter is like. She's so efficient. Like her moves are all like very slick versus Steve Rogers kind of...
Well, in like the whole episode, she was like, "Oh, cool! This is so awesome!"
Yeah, she's like all excited
she
about
loves
it.
Yeah, it's so tight.
Episode 2, like I mentioned, is what if T'Challa, which is the Black Panther, it was Star-Lord instead. So what happens is, Star-Lord's backstory is as a kid, he gets
they abducted
by Yondu.
Yondu abducted
Yondu
T'Challa.
sends down his idiot goons or whatever to go get Peter Quill, and they're like, "Well, we ran some scans, and this kid showed up, and he was the most spacey
magical
thing.
Oh yeah,
he was if anything was not from Earth, it's him, because they were picking up all of the vibranium from Wakanda.
Yeah,
and so they just take him, but he wanted to go. He was like, because they bring him back, and they're like." Yondu's like, this isn't the kid, and he shows side-by-side pictures, and he's like, it's obviously not him. And they're like, I don't know. And he's like, please take me with you, because he wanted to explore. And so he's Star-Lord, but he's like this benevolent Star-Lord.
Oh, my God.
Like, he's really nice. And the only spoiler I'll give you is that and this is my favorite part of the whole thing, he has recruited Thanos. He changed Thanos, so Thanos is now a good guy on Star-Lord's crew.
That is a huge spoiler. Stop going. You're going to spoil the whole thing.
No, that's not even really a spoiler.
Okay.
It's just like a funny little side thing they do.
Oh, he's just there.
Because Thanos the whole time is like trying to pitch his genocide idea to everyone, and everyone's like, that's a terrible idea. And the whole time he's like, no, it's not genocide because it's random. Guys, you gotta watch it. I am enjoying What If thoroughly. It's so fun.
That's sick. Aaron, do you have any kudos?
Yeah, I have one. So trailer released this week for Star Wars Visions. It's
wait,
that? I haven't heard of that.
Yeah,
so
which one is this?
It's an anime version of Star Wars that's coming out in 6 or 8 episodes, and each episode has a different style to the animation.
Oh, I love that.
And it's it's Japanese animation based. Dude, it looks so cool. Go watch the trailer. It just came out.
Star Wars
Visions. Ooh, yeah, this looks cool.
Yes,
I'm into this.
It probably looks better than any other Star Wars that's come out so far.
That's
it looks so
animated
good.
Star Wars is
animation's
such a good home for it. Oh yeah,
look at that. It's like looks like samurai style stuff. Star Wars.
That's what I want to see.
Into
sick.
that.
JD asks.
JD asks. JD
asks?
JD's ask. I don't know, guys. We're going with JD ass. JD's ass.
The best part of that for me is that we did not say that all simultaneously.
No,
I
your
had to cut all that
editing
together.
was. The first time I heard that, I was like, I was so happy. I was just so happy. Guys, JD asks is where I ask you something.
Wait. You ask a question.
I ask you guys a question. Okay. You answer it.
Okay.
What if I want to ask you a question?
Is there a right or wrong? That's Aaron asks, because we did a Peterson asks.
We did a Peterson asks. That's a whole big thing, though. We don't want to get into. So on JD asks this week, I want to ask you guys, what is something that takes you out of a game? And by the way, I feel like you guys are pretty good at doing this anyway. But please come answer the JD Ask questions in our Discord. Hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. Like, these are definitely things that we would love to talk more about with you guys. So that question again is, what is something that takes you out of a game?
And I'll give you some examples, maybe to get your juices flowing of what we were thinking about. So an example for me recently, I was listening to an audiobook, and it's a fantasy book, of course, because that's all I listen to. It's a fantasy book, so it's on some non-Earth world, right? Mm-hmm. Fantasy world with magic, and all this stuff. And two characters are talking, and one of them uses the phrase, extend the olive branch. Oh. And immediately I stopped listening, and I was like...
Just threw your phone out the window.
You can't say that. That's like from the Bible or something, right? This is like from Israel culture,
right?
From Judaism way back in the day, and it's really bizarre.
Wasn't that a dove with Noah's Ark?
Yeah. And so the dove with Noah's Ark brings back an olive branch.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And
or
that's
was
how
that
they knew there
Roman?
Was land. No, that's how they knew there was land, and that's where the phrase, I think, came from, and then it's been used. But in no situation would it be used the same exact way in a fantasy world. So it pulled me out immediately of the book. And so that's an example of something that pulls you out of a game, not meaning like makes you log out of a game, but pulls you out of the getting sucked into a game.
Okay, here's one that I feel like this was what started this off.
Yeah.
My whole thing is hyperviolence with puritanical approaches to nudity. There was a long post on Reddit that I read earlier this week about Cyberpunk 2077 and how strange the I guess you'd say censorship is, but it's basically like everyone in the game has underpants on just by default, and they're not coming off. And the idea that there is the comparison that this person brought up on Reddit was there's a scene or a part of the game where you go through a chop shop where they're ripping body modifications out of people's bodies, like their eyes and their fucking hearts and their organs, and they're just doing them because these people are dead and they're just recovering their organs for money, so they don't care, and they're just like, this is a horror movie, like this is a horror show. But you can bet as they're ripping out their eyes and pulling out their lungs, they make sure that they're wearing underpants.
They're all in their skivvies.
Doesn't matter. Any point throughout the whole thing. And the person pointed this out, and I was like, yeah, that does. It's just like, I come to expect it. I wouldn't even say it pulls me out anymore. I would just appreciate the immersion of seeing that, because it's like, what are you trying to protect me from?
Because if you think
I've
about
seen tits before, guys.
If you think about it for 2 seconds.
Never seen the inside of someo's skull.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck.
Wait, you've seen boobs? Nice.
I'll tell you about them later, dude.
Nice.
So for a couple examples that I thought of, that one was Gears of War 2. If you guys are familiar with the game, there's a scene where the characters that have been chasing for 2 games, they've been trying to find this character's wife who's been captured by the monster bad guys and kidnapped and tortured for years. And when they find her, she's just like a rotting corpse, essentially. Like her hair is all gone, everything. Man, she has like 3 layers of clothes on. She's got like an undershirt and a t-shirt and like some weird. I'm like, they were dressing her while they were torturing her to death and like boring her brain out of her skull. Fallout is another one. The Fallout series. Yes. There's all these raiders and heads exploding, eyeballs flying everywhere, legs coming off, but there's literally nothing that can get those bulletproof underpants off of anyone.
So there was a scene specifically that comes to mind when we were talking about this in Fallout, where a bunch of bodies, Fallout's horrifying. So a bunch of bodies were on a pile like they had been burned, right? And they're all like, charred, and they all have underwear on.
Yeah.
And all of their underwear, it's like dirty, right? Because they were just burned or something.
Right.
But all these bodies that were just burned have underwear on. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It's like chainmail. It will not burn.
It's part of them. They've grafted it onto
like, it
their
seems
bodies.
like it'd almost be better to not have clothes at all, but not have genitalia at all.
Just Ken dolls everywhere.
That
would be better.
It
yes.
seems like that would be better.
If I had a choice between a Ken doll naked and underpants, yeah, I'd go with the Ken doll.
And it's not like about sexuality, right?
No!
This is not sexual nudity.
It just takes me out of it.
This is like, and the example you brought up was Westworld.
Yes.
In Westworld, when they're cleaning up all the robots that have been killed for the day, they're just dropped down. Their naked bodies are dropped down, and they wash them up, clean them up, fix them, and then put them back out and put clothes on them. But it's not sexual. At one point, there's just like...
Anthony Hopkins' character chastises someone for covering one of these people because he's like, no, this is important. These are fucking robots.
These are not people.
You cannot
These
treat
are
them
robots.
like people.
Yeah.
By clothing them, and that is some way they used.
Yes.
I don't know. So,
and it wasn't like sexual nudity. It wasn't like, oh, that's hot. It was like, oh,
well, yeah, that's hot because they have a hole in their skull or like 5 bullet holes
there's
around
just like
their
a bunch
body.
of naked robots.
Yeah, a bunch of naked
it almost
dead
like
robots.
dehumanizes them even more.
Yeah,
yes.
and it plays into the storytelling. One of the other ones that the last one, and this is so silly, but I went looking at all the bad guy models for Doom. These are like demon spawn straight out of hell. They've taken over Mars and infested it with demons. But they have some very well-crafted COD pieces. All of the bosses, all the monsters. It's like, where like people joke about like, well, if dudes in fantasy games wear the same armor as women and they'd be like these Speedos. And that's what the monsters in Doom look like, dude. Like, they're like, oh, I'm a giant monster. I've been working on my muscles for 2 eons and I have a huge bloody sword, but I gotta slip on my, like, metal thong.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see I just want to see some Doom dongs. I want to see some Doom dongs. I am wholly unconvinced that these hellish demon hell spawns are lacking any genitalia. If anything, they should have like a couple.
Like they should present them closer to animals than humans.
Yes,
and so that was
like, I know we're joking, but like,
yeah, no, for real.
Like, quit being so weird about this. You guys are making it weird.
They put horse penises in
horse balls.
What the horse is wearing some skivvies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's if it was in the Fallout universe.
In the Fallout universe, he has underpants over his balls.
Aaron, did you have any? I've got a couple.
No, it's more of voice acting is one for me. If they don't pay for good voice actors, and it's just like somebody reading from a script, like like we do when we're doing our intros.
Well, it's like that Knuckles clip I played. I don't know if you heard last week, but like it was a AAA Sonic title, and it sounded like a guy was just reading.
Well, wasn't there an NBA 2K or NBA Live or something? Where all of the lines were
because they hired actual professional athletes to read their own lines.
It's really bad. It is really, really bad. That's a really good example. All the sports games that have a career mode, are really, really bad. Or a lot of the cutscenes will have really bad animation. Like they're in-game animation, but they start to cut out and get jagged, or they kind of cut in and out.
Or when your body, someone will clip through your body. Have you seen that in a cutscene?
Yeah.
Someone will be like, pedestrian.
And they're just like walking into a wall.
Yeah.
Because this is part of the story. Yeah. And you're trying to get involved, and then that immediately takes you out.
Oh, nope, I'm in a video game. Okay. I remember now.
All right, because if I have to learn anything, it's that you have to tune out the noise. Only thing that matter is what happens between the lines. Do the work, listen to the coaches, and the result will take care of themselves. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the money, the nice hotel, the private jets. Remember that, and you will be fine, okay?
First take, man. First take.
The best part is where he said "okay" at the end. The closed captioning said "I" with like 8 eyes. What was that? His read, and he gets to that, and he sees it. He's like, "I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say okay."
Dude.
Also, you get 1 take. First take, I'm fucking out. You get Al Jefferson for 15 minutes. What are you going to do with me?
Yeah, they probably paid $10 million.
I know.
So bad.
Yeah, I bet they fucking did. I bet they paid a lot. I love that one. Yeah, voice acting absolutely takes me out. There's definitely games where I'm like, ugh.
So there's one for me, swearing. And not the way you think. Like some games, I would say some Ubisoft games, there's like excessive swearing, and you're like, all right, dial it back. Just a little bit. But no, swearing, using inappropriate swears in games that it shouldn't exist. And this books do this, movies do this, video games do this. And the one example that always gets me is hell. When they use the word hell in any format, because that's like essentially Christian theology, and they're like using the word hell, which comes from like theology. So if they're on a different planet, if this is aliens,
unless this is Doom, which is absolutely
where they are from hell.
Yeah, they are from literal hell.
Or if this is like a fantasy game and they're like, what the hell? And you're like, why'd you just say hell? You don't know what hell is. And I noticed this because
world building details.
This is a detail.
So dorky.
And I noticed it because I read so much Sanderson, who uses swears, but not swear words that we use. He uses swears from the planet. He imagines what they would use as a swear word, and he uses that. So he uses
yes.
It's not
that hard. It's not that hard.
Storms and storming and stuff like that.
7 hells is what they say in Game of Thrones.
And so, like, I feel like you could build your own lore and then you've built that in there. Use your swear words from there. For me, it's poor writing.
Yeah.
Make your own swears.
Make your own swears.
Make
it's
your
so
own
much
fragging
better.
Swears.
Yeah. So that pulls me out. Like I said, excessive swearing pulls me out. Also, clothes that don't fit with the rest of the game.
Anachronistic clothing.
And the one that always gets me, and this is the one I see the most often in games, games and movies.
Every single outfit.
Well, like if it's supposed to be goofy, right?
Right.
But no, in fantasy games, what you will see is black leather options that are shiny. So you'll see a guy wearing a shiny black leather coat in a dirty fantasy setting, and you're like, that
dude, maybe he just preens a lot. Maybe he's not going to get sick in that medieval setting if he's that clean.
7,000 things.
Yeah.
No, and so the clothing can pull me out a lot.
Dude, that was bad for me in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, my absolute favorite Assassin's Creed game, but he's in the Caribbean. And he's swimming around, and he's running around these tropical islands, and he's wearing like 8 layers. Like he's got a literal coat.
Yeah.
But I guess you watch Pirates of the Caribbean, you watch all these like pirate lore, and they're wearing a lot of clothes. Maybe he was just stinky. He just smelled like ass.
I think the real problem is we have a problem with clothing.
Well, you know what? That's my next one, because my next one is strip clubs.
Yeah.
If there is a strip club in the game, I'm like out. I'm totally out, because all it does is remind me that I'm playing something that's made by some horny dude.
Yeah.
So like all GTA games?
Yeah.
Yes.
I get so tired.
Star
like
Wars,
I don't
Knights of the Old Republic, I think you visit. There's like
GTA. Yeah, GTA has them, and then like there was a World War II one, the Saboteur that had one that just seemed obligatory because GTA had them, and I'm like, they don't age well. What did they start doing with Duke Nukem? And that was like the thing. But I'm like, I don't think we need to.
The square boobies.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do boobs anymore. I know.
We got some people on the stream.
Yeah. Hey, friends. Guys, the stream, people drop by. Hi, Abby. Hi, Patrick. See? If you guys come swing by our stream, maybe we'll mention you on the air. Peterson is now just staring directly at the camera. I'll use this opportunity to tell you about the last thing that I have on my list that takes me out of games is when I get stuck and I know I won't be getting unstuck. Or I know it won't be rewarding getting unstuck.
You mean stuck like
in a puzzle game? Yeah. So, for example, the amazing game Infra that I was playing, I got stuck in just one part of it, and I came back to it 2 nights in a row. And I was like, I'm going to have to YouTube this, or I'm going to have to Google it. And I was like, I don't want to do that. But now I haven't gone back because it'll be the 3rd night. And I know that this isn't like a huge puzzle that's going to unlock something, because it's just one after the other after the other. And in this game, like it'll just unlock this puzzle, and then there's going to be a new puzzle. So it's just like, and I guess this didn't take me out of the game in the same way we were talking about it. But it's kind of killed the game for me, where I'm just like, and I'm wandering around, and it's no longer like I'm enjoying the world of Infra. I'm just like banging my head against this one puzzle.
You remembering you're in a game.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, it's not like, oh, this is kind of a cool factory I'm going around. I'm like, where the hell do I go? Where the hell do I go? Why is this stupid factory so dumb? So, yeah, just when I get stuck and I know it's not going to be worth it to get unstuck, and I just can't get back. Do you guys have any more?
Nope, we're good.
Nope.
Okay, the last thing before we go into DICE, I want to mention, we gave this a shout last week, but it was a little late, so just in case, you guys were doing listener questions next week. It's going to be...
Send us your questions.
A sode full of questies. It's going to be you guys ask.
Show me your Q's, I'll show you my A.
Yeah. That's nice. Ooh. That's nice. I like that. It's very suggestive. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, get in Discord, Twitter, Facebook. Leave us a voicemail. Oh, we did get one voicemail that we'll play next week.
Yeah, we'll play it next week.
Heck yeah. So, yeah, you guys call in, do whatever you got to do. Get those get those questions in.
Dice of Destiny.
All right, Dice of Destiny is this awesome game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 6-sided dice to see who's going to be rolling the Dice of Destiny, which is a 20-sided dice that has 20 different game genres assigned to it. Finally, we roll a 6-sided dice to see how much we can spend. Then that person has to find that game, play it, review it. I rolled a couple weeks back a stealth game. The very first time we ever had stealth.
Yep.
During Dice of Destiny, and I picked Desperados 3. Desperados 3 is it's a cowboy setting, Western kind of cowboy setting, and you are playing a number of different characters. The main character from the series, Desperados, John Cooper, and he makes an appearance, but he's, part of a cast of characters. And this is a isometric view, so you think top down, and then you just rotate it a little bit, so you're kind of viewing everyone at an angle, but you kind of have a view of the overall map. And if you picture every level is just like a big level with a bunch of guards, essentially, wandering around it, some standing still, some on a patrol, and you have to complete a number of objectives within that level. Sometimes there are... you can absolutely like set off an alarm and more people will come out, but if you can hide from them, the alarm will go away. There are ways to get through a level without setting off any alarms. There's generally ways of doing non-lethal things and not killing anyone. There's just so many.
Can kill.
You can, and you're definitely encouraged to. It's not like they're like, oh, try to get through this peacefully. They're like, no, go kill that guy. So yeah, that's
just be quiet when you do it.
They just don't make a big deal out of it. So. That is the game, and I absolutely adored it. I got it on Game Pass, and so I will give that huge caveat that it was free. And I'll get a little bit touch on this later because it's $50.
But
on
he
Steam.
still stayed within limits, Phil. Okay, because
Phil hasn't said anything
50.
about this in weeks.
But he said it one
but
time.
He's our rule stickler, so we have to answer
How much money
to him.
did you have?
He
was
rolled 50.
Oh, it was
and this
50.
game costs 50.
Okay.
So he stayed within minus a little tax. So
yeah,
all right,
so
Phil.
I really liked the stealth in this game. I really don't care for stealth games in general. But for this one, the stealth wasn't really mind-numbing. It was a puzzle. This was more of a puzzle game than a stealth game, it felt like to me. Most stealth games I feel like are more 3D and you're like in person, like doing as one person. The fact that this is kind of tactical, like you grab one person, tell them to go over here, grab one person, tell them over there.
It's like a board game almost.
Yes, it's more akin to a board game, and it's kind of puzzly because what's really neat is you see these cones of vision between the enemies, so you can see what they see. And then you can even like right click on a place in the map and then it will pretend as if you were there and it will flag who's going to see you there. So there's just like there's a million quality of life things in this game that it just displays that this is not their first rodeo. This is not their first time making. And these aren't the guys that were making the original Desperados. This is THQ Nordic, but they've made other games that are like this. And so they had I think a samurai one. So they know what they're doing, and it feels like a game that is obsessed with giving you like a really like good hand-holdy experience because it's challenging.
Yeah.
It's hard. And so, for example, there's a quick save. And they are like quick save every 5 seconds.
All the time.
If you don't quick save,
if
you don't quick save for 60 seconds, a little pop-up comes up, which you can configure. Yeah. You don't have to have that show up, but you can have it. I have it set now to 5 minutes because I got better at doing it. But it's like, hey, don't forget to save. Hey, don't forget to save. Because you can end up getting like tunnel vision as you're trying to plan a path for someone. And then you do it, and then it fails, and you're like, oh, shit, my last save was 10 minutes ago.
And I did that when I played the demo several times.
And they may have added that since you played the demo. Because like I said, it's all quality of life stuff that just makes me... There's these very clear UI indicators. Like if your character's walking, you have like a little circle of blue that vibrates or pulsates, indicating how much sound. And if you're too close to someone, they can sense that sound. Your gun has a bigger circle of blue. Your pistol that's silenced has a very small circle of blue. So there's like, and you know what they are. You don't even need like a tutorial to explain it to you. They just kind of throw you in the game, and it's hard. And like I mentioned, there's a ton of different characters. Not a ton. There's like 4 different characters I've run into so far. I'm in chapter 2 of 3, but I have put like 20 hours into the game. It's long. And that is one huge thing about it, is that it's long and it's meaty. I haven't replayed any of these levels, but I kept thinking, knowing now what I do about all these levels, because there's objectives after you beat it. It's like, oh, you can try this. You can play it on hard. You can try to beat it in under 14 minutes. And I did, like, it took me 2 hours. And I'm like, oh, how do I beat this in 14 minutes? That's a different puzzle. That's a much different puzzle than what I was doing before. And so, like, there's a lot of really cool things to draw you back into it. There's a billion DLC, I guess. If you wanted to buy everything in this game, you can go on Steam and spend $70, get all the DLCs and all this, and you'd probably have 200 hours of gameplay, if not more. So much stuff. So, I'm sorry, I'll get back to the characters, the different characters. There's a woman, for example, who, like, lures people. She can, like, oh, come here, stranger, and they follow her all love-struck, and they have, like, a little indicator that is, like, how long they're going to be in love with her. And so I keep using her to, like, sneak guys around a corner, and then my other guy stands up out of a bush and is like, ha-ha, and just stabs you. Stab, and then he just throws him in the bush, and she's like, I'll go get the next stranger, and she just walks off, and no one's suspicious that this scantily dressed woman is just like, come here, stranger, and then comes back and come here, you too. He's like, oh, sweet. It's not like, where did the other guy go? They're like, oh, he must be he's just napping. He's just napping it off. So she can, like, but she's also cool because she has a derringer, which is like, so she can kill people at short range, but it's a little louder than the knife. She can throw a vial of perfume to blind people, so you want to blind someone for a few minutes or for a few seconds while you do something in their cone of vision, but you don't want to go kill them first. Awesome. And then another thing that was really cool is that if you hit shift, it pauses your game, and now you can select characters like a board game.
Yep.
You do this, wait here, you do this, then you do this. So I have her throw a vial of perfume, it explodes, and then it blinds a guy who is looking at another guy. I send my knife guy to go kill him, and I just click shift and it does it all automatically so you don't have to, like, perfectly time stuff, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's
so
not about, like, clicking at the right time. It's not
about skill. You can play this game.
Yes, like, you're playing a game while you're doing it. And so you're
tactical,
just planning it out.
Yeah, and then the different characters just add to that strategy. Like, I just described just the woman. Like, she's just one, and there's 4 or 5. And they all offer different things, which is so cool, that because you can combine them and make different things. Like, there's one guy that throws a little bag, and people that, if it's in their cone of vision, they are like, what the heck's that? And they go investigate it, and then it explodes in their face, and they're blinded for a minute. So you can lure people over with that, and then string them along with the woman to have, like, an extra, like, if you need to
bring them into the previous
pull someone
level
really far. Yeah, you can pull them all the way back. So the story is classic Western stuff, like, the railroads screwing over the ranchers. You're like, yes, this is all I ever want from a Western.
I just want to play. Who's that Western writer?
I just want to kill the who?
The writer that only does Westerns.
I don't know. Like a
book writer,
author.
You're playing Louis L'Amour, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're just doing all the.
You're just doing West. It's so tropey. Everything's so tropey, and Aaron Joyce. The dialogue is really well written, well voice acted, and very believable. So it's not like. It's better. The voice acting and writing in this is better than Red Dead Redemption 2. I'll just say that. It's more believable, the story that's going on. I'm like, oh, cool.
That's not that
It's
hard.
not like the game devs are like, well, we need them to go from point A to point B. What do we say? I have a plan and just send them. Yeah. And that's what they do. In this, it's like, it's great. This game is phenomenal. Guys, this game is really, it's a gamey game, and it is a game, it kind of reminded me of Crusader Kings 3. In that when I played Crusader Kings 3, it seemed like it just was so obsessed with me enjoying it. It wanted nothing more than me to understand, play, and enjoy itself. And I'm like, that's how I felt about this game, is it desperately wants me to love it. And I did love it. I will say, it's so expensive!
That was my biggest hang-up. It's so fucking
expensive. $50 for a game like this?
When I played the demo, I was so excited about this one. It was probably my favorite of all the demos I played. And when the game finally came out, I was like, all right, here we go. And I go to the store page and it was like, $50? Like, I really enjoyed this game, but 50 seems a little steep. I was thinking in my head this would be a $30 game. And so 50 felt a little steep. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. That seems like a little much.
Yeah, so basically get it on Game Pass or wait for a sale. Mm-hmm. And I have added it on my Steam wish list so I can tell you guys when it goes on sale. I have a sneaking suspicion. Actually,
it does go on sale, but I think the last few sales it's only been like 15% or something like that. So it's still
and it came out in June of last year, so it's not that old. So I'm looking them up on Steam database to see their price history. Yeah, they go down. It drops down to $25.
Ooh.
And that's when it drops. What it drops to every single time it's dropped to 25.
So I discovered a really cool website. It's called istthereanydeal.com.
Oh, sick!
You punch in Desperados 3. You can see a bunch of different websites with the price, current price, historical low price.
What?
And so you can kind of see when it went on sale.
Dude,
what's it called?
Istthereanydeal.com.
Okay,
easy to remember.
And so, if you like, Green Man Gaming might have it for sale, so you can buy it on Green Man Gaming, get the Steam key, just register the Steam key.
I heard about this thing. You could get games for pretty cheap just earlier today. It's you get a VPN for Argentina.
Yeah, guys, I bet this costs no money at all. Actually, I'm going to see how much.
Or just pay a guy in Argentina.
Dude, this is the number one. It's $10. Guys, it's $10 right now in Argentina with an Argentinian peso, and the lowest it's been in Argentina is $5. It's the number one thing on this list. I was like, I'll just control F Argentina. No, it just took me right to the top. It is $10. Now I get it. It's $50. This is worth figuring out this dumb Argentinian bullshit because that is so worth it.
I don't even know how that makes sense.
I don't know. Because their currency must be shot.
I get
but
that.
You'd think it would go the other way, right?
Like, why don't they just make it cost?
I don't know. But yeah, wait for a sale on this one for sure because it was on sale during the summer sale. It was on sale on 4/20, I guess, for some reason. And it went on sale. Yeah, the lunar year sale. It goes on sale a lot. So add this to your wish list 100%. Even if, like me, you're not huge into stealth games, I bet you get a good 10 hours out of this because, like I said, it wants you to love it.
I'm the same way.
And
Don't
it makes
love
it
stealth.
Easy to love it.
Really enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, so that means that we have a re-roll on the board.
Aaron brought the dice today.
No, these are mine.
Oh.
These are the ones I've been using.
Good job, Aaron.
Hey, thanks, Aaron, for bringing your dice. It's so nice of you.
Wait, there's two D20s. There's a black one and a green one. Use the black one. The green one looks shady.
What's wrong? I don't
Dude.
understand.
Okay, so wait, give me
the
green one.
Give
me the
never works.
I don't know. We want to make it
eight-sided.
Yo, you do the 6-sided first.
Yeah, do a 6.
Okay.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let's do it.
It's me.
Okay,
I'm playing. Here we go. I'm
give
back.
Me that D20.
I'm back at it.
What was it?
Wait, you didn't even roll it. Drops don't count as rolls.
Oh my
that is
God.
a
You
house
should have
rule.
seen how much he just sneered at me.
Gosh. 5.
5 is a turn-based strategy.
Oh, shoot. All right.
That's
Turn-based.
nice. And that is off. So turn-based is off, and casual, whatever the fuck that means, is back on.
Casual.
The last time we rolled casual, I believe I said something similar. Like, what the hell is that? Okay, yeah, so roll to see how much you're going to...
A 6. Oh, thank goodness. So I can spend any game, pretty much.
Any game.
Any game.
Any
$60
turn-based
on a
strategy.
turn-based strategy game.
Yeah.
Dude, nice. All right. Well, that does it for us. Thanks to the few folks that jumped into our stream.
Snorgle,
Patrick, Abby. It was awesome to have you here distracting Peterson, so he didn't make any eye contact with me for the last half of the episode.
I'll make eye contact with you
Yeah,
instead.
he's going to stare right at you. Creepy. All right, guys. To play us out, we've got the main theme from Desperados 3. This is the theme music.
Ooh, music.
It's good shit. And I guess we
is
played
good.
it last year, but we're playing it again because it's dope. Yeah.
We'll double dip. I don't care.
I'll double dip.
Play next week. Shit.
Yeah, we're going to
You know
play
what?
this every week.
Desperados for 100
Desperados,
years.
3, 4, 5, and 6.
Desperados
Desperados,
3.
a million. All right, I'm JD logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
Aaron rolling out.
Ooh, you even had a dice sound effect.
Ooh, that was nice.
Now do I need a sound effect?
I'll need a sound effect.
Okay, I need a Peterson sound effect.
Peterson sound effects.
I do have that. Peterson Productions. Oh, yeah.